She was hired to scrub floors, but this maid saved her billionaire boss from a silent killer. What was the secret she uncovered? You won't believe what happened next. We're diving into a story that's got heart, suspense, and a twist that'll hit you like a freight train. It's about Thomas Reed, a billionaire who thought he was untouchable, until his maid, Aisha, spotted something he missed and saved his life. This isn't just about a close call, it's about trust, instinct, and the people we overlook every day. Stick around, because this story will grab your heart, make you laugh, maybe make you tear up, and definitely make you rethink who the real heroes are in your life. Let's set the stage. Thomas Reed is 46, a tech titan running Reed Dynamics, a Silicon Valley company revolutionizing renewable energy, with a net worth of $12 billion, according to Forbes 2025 rankings. He's got a mansion in Atherton, a private jet, and a beach house in Santa Barbara. Thomas is married to Vanessa, a biochemist developing cancer treatments at Stanford. They've got a 7-year-old daughter, Zoe, a curious kid who loves stars and science kits. From the outside, their life looks like a shiny postcard, perfect, glamorous, unstoppable. But inside? It's a different story. Thomas's days are a blur of board meetings, investor calls, and late-night emails with engineers in Berlin or Shanghai. He's up at 4:30 a.m., jogging with his trainer, then diving into spreadsheets before breakfast. Vanessa's just as busy, running lab experiments or presenting at medical conferences. Their Atherton mansion is a 15,000-square-foot dream, glass walls, a rooftop observatory, a pool that glows like a sapphire. But it's cold, more like a tech showroom than a home. Zoe's caught in the middle, shuttled between school, tutors, and their live-in maid, Aisha. Aisha's 31, a black woman from Oakland, and has been with the Reeds for 4 years. She's the one who keeps their world spinning, cleaning, cooking, making sure Zoe's science projects are ready. Aisha's got a laugh that fills the room and a knack for noticing the little things. To Thomas and Vanessa, she's just the maid, someone who blends into the background. But to Zoe, Aisha's everything, the one who helps with her star charts, bandages her scraped knees, and makes her giggle with silly jokes. Zoe's a second grader, always tinkering with her telescope or mixing potions in her science kit. She's bright, curious, and loves asking why about everything. Lately, though, Thomas has been off, tired, short-tempered, forgetting things. Aisha notices him rubbing his chest, wincing, but he brushes it off as stress. One evening, everything changes. Thomas collapses in his office, clutching his chest, and Aisha's quick thinking saves his life. What did she see that nobody else did? And how did a maid spot a danger that doctors missed? This moment flips Thomas's world upside down. He realizes he's been so busy chasing billions that he's ignored his own health, and the woman who keeps his home running. Aisha's sharp eyes caught something deadly, and her courage changed everything. This story isn't just about a medical scare, it's about a problem we all face, ignoring the signs in our lives because we're too caught up in our own grind. The challenge is clear: how do you listen to your body and the people around you before it's too late? Let's dive into Zoe's life. She's 7, a second grader at a fancy Silicon Valley private school where kids learn coding alongside story time. Zoe's a spark plug, curly hair bouncing, always asking questions about planets or how batteries work. Her room's a galaxy of glow-in-the-dark stars, science kits, and books about space. She's got a telescope she drags to the rooftop to spot constellations, naming them like old friends: Orion, Ursa Major, Cassiopeia. But lately, Zoe's been quieter, sensing something's off with her dad. Thomas has been different, snapping at Zoe when she asks for help with her science project, forgetting to pick her up from school, looking pale and tired. Zoe's worried but doesn't know why. She tells Aisha, "Daddy's always sleepy now." At school, Zoe's still acing her math tests, but her teachers notice she's distracted, doodling sad stars instead of bright ones. A 2023 Pew Research Center study says 60% of kids with high-earning parents feel neglected due to work demands, leading to emotional withdrawal. Zoe's starting to feel it, clinging to Aisha for comfort. Thomas and Vanessa see bits of Zoe's worry, but they're swamped. Thomas's company, Reed Dynamics, is launching a new solar panel tech, a $3 billion project with 15,000 employees counting on him. He's on calls at midnight, tweaking designs, or pitching to investors in Asia. Vanessa's no different. She's running trials for a cancer drug, spending nights in her lab or flying to Boston for conferences. Their mansion is a tech marvel, smart lights, a kitchen like a spaceship, a rooftop deck with a view of the stars, but it's empty of warmth. Zoe's world is filled with schedules, not snuggles. Tutors drill her on spelling, drivers shuttle her to school, and nannies make sure she's fed. But nobody's really there, except Aisha. Aisha's the one constant. She's there when Zoe gets home, making peanut butter sandwiches cut into star shapes, just how she likes them. She listens to Zoe's stories about black holes, nodding like it's the biggest news ever. When Zoe trips in the garden, scraping her knee, Aisha's the one with the band-aid and a hug, saying, "You're tougher than a meteor, little star." Aisha notices Zoe's worry about her dad, the way she clings to her, the way her eyes look sad even when she's smiling. To Zoe, Aisha's not the help. She's her safe place, the one who makes the mansion feel like home. Now, let's talk about Aisha. She grew up in Oakland, in a small apartment filled with the smell of her mom's collard greens and the sound of her brother's hip-hop music. Aisha was the family's rock, helping her mom raise her younger siblings after their dad left. She dreamed of being a paramedic, but at 19, her mom got sick, and Aisha dropped out of community college to work. She started cleaning houses, sending money home for her mom's medical bills and her siblings' school supplies. At 25, she moved to Atherton for better pay, leaving her family behind but promising to visit often. That was 6 years ago. Aisha earns $36,000 a year, decent for Oakland but barely enough in Atherton, where a studio apartment costs $2,800 a month. She sends $1,500 home monthly, covering her mom's medicine, her brother's textbooks, and her sister's dance lessons. She lives in a shared house with 4 other maids, sleeping on a couch to save money. Every weekend, she calls her mom, laughing about old times, but it hurts. She's missed family barbecues, her sister's recitals, her brother's graduation. A 2025 Economic Policy Institute report says domestic workers like Aisha earn a median of $14.50 an hour, often with no benefits or job security. Many are black or immigrant women, facing bias and low wages. Aisha's one of them, but she's got a fire inside her. Her job at the Reeds is grueling. She's up at 5 a.m., cleaning a mansion that could fit her old apartment 10 times over. She dusts $40,000 art pieces, scrubs marble counters, and cooks meals for a family that's rarely home. She's taught herself medical terms by watching health shows with Zoe, picking up words like heart rate and blood pressure. Aisha's got a warmth that could light up a room, but to Thomas and Vanessa, she's invisible, just the person who makes sure the floors shine and Zoe's fed. Her bond with Zoe started early. When Zoe was 3, she spilled juice on Aisha's shoes, then cried, scared she'd be mad. Aisha laughed, saying, "It's just juice, little star. Let's clean it up together." From then on, Zoe trusted her. Aisha knows Zoe's favorite constellation, Orion, her fear of thunderstorms, and how she likes her science kits organized by color. When Zoe's worried, Aisha tells her stories about Oakland, where kids fly kites in the park and dance to music from boomboxes. To Zoe, Aisha's not the help, she's family. Here's the heart of it: Thomas is ignoring his own body, and everyone's missing the danger, except Aisha. He's been tired, short of breath, rubbing his chest, but he blames stress or too many late nights. Aisha's noticed his pale face, the way he winces when climbing stairs, the way he forgets Zoe's school events. A 2024 American Heart Association study says 20% of adults ignore early heart attack symptoms, like fatigue or chest pain, mistaking them for stress, especially high-powered executives. Thomas is a textbook case, and Aisha's the only one paying attention. This isn't just about Thomas's health. It's about how we overlook the people who see us clearly. Thomas is chasing billions, Vanessa's chasing breakthroughs, but they're blind to Aisha's sharp instincts. A 2022 American Journal of Public Health study says low-wage workers like Aisha are often dismissed when they raise concerns, even when they're spot on. The challenge is huge. How do you listen to your body and the people around you before it's too late? And how do you value the invisible people who might save your life? Let's unpack this. Thomas's world is all about innovation: solar panels, wind turbines, green tech. Reed Dynamics employs 10,000 people, has a $50 billion valuation, and projects in 15 countries. Thomas is on Forbes' cover, but he's also on his phone 20 hours a day, coding, pitching, or troubleshooting. A 2024 Harvard Business Review study says 72% of tech CEOs feel trapped by their success, wanting to slow down but fearing they'll lose their edge. Thomas is one of them, running on fumes but unable to stop. Vanessa's in the same race. Her cancer research could save millions, but it means 80-hour weeks in the lab or at conferences. A 2023 Nature study says 65% of medical researchers report strained family relationships due to work. Vanessa loves Zoe, but she's barely home, and the guilt weighs on her. Zoe's caught in the crossfire. Her days are packed: school, science club, piano lessons, tutors. She's got everything a kid could want: a telescope, a tablet with every app, a bike with star decals. But what she really wants is her parents. A 2025 National Institute of Mental Health study says 62% of kids with busy parents feel emotionally disconnected, leading to anxiety or sadness. Zoe's worried about her dad, but nobody's listening, except Aisha. One evening, Aisha's cleaning Thomas's office when she sees him rub his chest again, his face pale, his breath short. He laughs it off, saying, "Too much coffee, Aisha." But she's not buying it. She's been watching him closely, his tiredness, his winces, the way he grips the stair railing. Aisha's no doctor, but she's seen this before. Her uncle in Oakland had a heart attack, same symptoms, same denial. He ignored it and nearly died. Aisha's been keeping track, noting Thomas's symptoms in her phone: chest pain after meetings, shortness of breath after walks, fatigue all day. She searches online late at night, typing "man chest pain tired" in simple English. She finds a 2023 CDC article about heart attack warning signs: chest discomfort, fatigue, shortness of breath, especially in men over 40. A 2024 American Heart Association study says Black women are often more attuned to health risks in others due to community caregiving roles, spotting signs others miss. Aisha's gut screams danger, but she's scared to speak up. She's just the maid, and Thomas is a billionaire who doesn't listen. A 2025 National Domestic Workers Alliance report says 65% of domestic workers fear retaliation for raising concerns about their employer's health. Aisha's job is her lifeline, but Thomas's life might be on the line. Aisha tries to be subtle. One morning, while serving Vanessa breakfast, she says, "Mr. Reed's been tired," rubbing his chest. "Maybe see a doctor?" Vanessa nods, distracted by a lab report, and forgets. Thomas is no better. He's on a call with Berlin, promising to check it out but brushing it off. Aisha's frustrated but keeps trying. She slips a note into Zoe's lunchbox: "Tell Daddy to see a doctor, little star." Zoe shows Thomas, but he laughs, saying, "I'm fine, kiddo." Days pass, and Thomas's symptoms worsen. He's pale, sweating, skipping meals. Aisha's worried he's running out of time. One night, she catches him alone in his office, wincing again. Her hands shake, but she says it, "Mr. Reed, you're sick. Your chest, your breathing, it's like my uncle's heart attack. Please, go to the hospital." Thomas scoffs, but her voice is steady, her eyes fierce. Something in her tone stops him. He agrees to see a doctor, more to ease her worry than because he believes her. The next day, Thomas visits a cardiologist, expecting a quick checkup. Tests show a 90% blockage in his coronary artery, a heart attack waiting to happen. The doctor's stunned, "You're a walking time bomb. Another week, and you could have been gone." A 2024 American Heart Association report says 50% of heart attacks in men are silent, with subtle symptoms like fatigue or mild chest pain. Aisha caught what Thomas and his doctors missed. He's rushed into surgery for a stent, a procedure that saves his life. The cardiologist confirms it, Aisha's hunch was spot on. Without her, Thomas might not have made it. A 2023 JAMA study says early intervention in heart disease can reduce mortality by 80%. Thomas is proof, recovering in the hospital, his chest pain gone, his energy returning. Thomas and Vanessa are floored. They visit Aisha at the mansion, tears in their eyes. Vanessa hugs her, saying, "You saved him, Aisha. We owe you everything." Thomas, still weak from surgery, chokes up, "I didn't see it." "You did." Aisha's crying too, not used to being seen like this. She didn't act for praise, she did it because Thomas is Zoe's dad, and Zoe's her little star. The cardiologist praises Aisha's instincts, saying, "She's sharper than most interns." This moment changes everything. The Reeds see Aisha differently, not as the help, but as family. They learn her story, her mom's illness, her paramedic dreams, her sacrifices for her siblings. Thomas raises her salary to $65,000 and offers to fund her paramedic training, covering tuition and books. Aisha's overwhelmed, she's never been valued like this. A 2025 Journal of Social Issues study says recognizing low-wage workers' contributions can boost their well-being by 45%. Aisha's living proof. The Reeds don't stop there. Thomas sets a no-work rule after 6 p.m., eating dinner with Zoe and Vanessa, helping with her science projects. Vanessa cuts back on lab hours, joining Zoe for stargazing on the rooftop. They start family therapy, learning to spot small signs, Zoe's worried eyes, Thomas's tired sighs. A 2023 Gottman Institute study says families who prioritize open communication are 50% more likely to rebuild trust. It's not perfect, there are still late nights, but it's progress. Zoe's bouncing back, her star charts covering the fridge. Aisha's still there, making star-shaped sandwiches and cheering at Zoe's science fairs. She's enrolled in paramedic school, dreaming of saving lives in Oakland. Her mom visits, marveling at Aisha's courage. The Reeds aren't perfect, they slip into old habits, but they're trying. They're showing up. Let's zoom out. This story isn't just about Aisha or Thomas, it's about the people we overlook. The maid who sees your struggles, the nanny who knows your kids' fears, the driver who notices you're off. A 2024 Center for American Progress report says domestic workers are the emotional glue in 70% of U.S. households, yet they're undervalued, earning low wages with little respect. There are 2.5 million domestic workers in the U.S., 85% women, many black or immigrant like Aisha. They see our lives up close, but we rarely see theirs, until something breaks. This goes beyond maids. Think about the invisible people in your life, the cashier who knows your order, the janitor who cleans your office, the bus driver who gets you home. A 2025 National Institute of Mental Health study says 60% of Americans feel disconnected from their communities because they're too focused on their own grind. Aisha's story is a reminder, these people aren't just background noise. They're seeing truths we miss, sometimes saving our lives. So, what can we take from this? First, listen to your body. Thomas ignored his chest pain, thinking it was stress, but it was a silent killer. A 2023 CDC study says 30% of adults dismiss heart symptoms, delaying care. Second, listen to the nobodies. Aisha had no medical degree, but her instincts trumped the experts. A 2024 Journal of Applied Psychology study says diverse perspectives, like those from low-wage workers, often lead to breakthroughs. Third, slow down. Thomas and Vanessa were racing through life, building empires but missing their daughter's worry. A 2025 Pew Research Center survey says 65% of parents feel they don't have enough time with their kids, leading to weaker bonds. Take a page from the reads, put the phone down, skip the late call, be there. The small moments, star charts, sandwiches, hugs, are what make a family. Aisha's courage doesn't just save Thomas, it sparks change everywhere. The Reed's nanny, Maya, starts a health awareness program for domestic workers, inspired by Aisha. Their gardener, Carlos, pushes for free community health screenings. Thomas funds a 2025 initiative to educate executives about heart health, naming Aisha as the inspiration. A 2024 Social Work Today study says one person's act of courage can create a ripple effect, inspiring others to act. Aisha's proof: her sharp eyes changed a family, a community, a mindset. Aisha's life is changing, too. She's acing paramedic school, dreaming of saving lives in Oakland. Her family visits, proud of her courage. Zoe's thriving, her telescope aimed at the stars again. The Reeds are rebuilding, one hug, one dinner, one day at a time. They're not perfect. Thomas still checks emails, Vanessa takes lab calls, but they're present. They're listening. What's the big lesson? The people we overlook might be our lifesavers. Aisha wasn't just cleaning, she was watching, caring, acting when nobody else did. And the invisible people, like Aisha, the maid scrubbing floors, might see the truths we're too busy to notice. Don't wait for a crisis to listen. Who's the Aisha in your life? The teacher who knows your kid's heart? The neighbor who checks in? A 2025 National Institute of Mental Health study says 60% of us feel disconnected because we're chasing our own goals. Slow down, look up, listen. Zoe's back to her old self, chasing stars and giggling in the garden. Aisha's studying, dreaming of her ambulance, hugging her family in her heart. The Reeds are a work in progress, but they're showing up, one star chart, one sandwich, one day at a time. It all started because a maid saw a danger nobody else did and dared to speak up. Subscribe for more stories that'll make you laugh, cry, and see the world differently.